Okay, well here we have it. It's another flyer autopsy. I'm taking this flyer that I did here. This is earlier 2017. I recorded myself doing it. I never followed up with a good videos because I got hired at a fire department and I was pretty busy. So here we go. This is a cool little flyer here. How long have you been waiting for things to change? Now, my emphasis today is that these things are a living document and you don't just wake up and go, this is what I want to do, and then throw text on it and whip out the design and then bam. As you know from some of my other creative process videos, it's a fluid process. It's not over until you send it to the printer. So here's what went on with this one. This is a flyer autopsy. Where are we at here? Oh, no wonder the okay. All right. Okay, starting off here. This is me scrubbing through a video of me doing the flyer. So we're just gonna go through this real quick. Here's I call it the waiting flyer, or I call it the Facetime flyer now just because that's more modern. See that background? Girl head, guy head, they're both face different directions. They have contemplative looks. She looks hopeful for the future. He looks introspective and wondering, figuring something out, hopefully about himself. So this is what I would call a face flyer. Like if you watched one of my other videos where I talked about 3 basic types of flyers, this is a face flyer. So this is where hopefully people will grab the flyer and they will look at it and relate to something on this flyer, one of those looks, or just strike an internal dialogue with them. So you can see how the bottom photo here is the guy looking out a window. All right, so there he is. I added a black, turn that off. You can see that the girl, she's looking out the window too. The other side, I'm pointing to the mask down here where instead of a layer mask, you can see it's just a solid photo, but you put a layer mask, but you can layer and then layer mask and reveal all, and then you can take the pen over here tool and the black. With the black, you can color in transparency. With the white, you restore the picture to what's underneath it. So I'm clicking through some things just to show how my masks work. You can see the black lines that I painted here, the black blob that when you activate it, masks out stuff on the picture. That's a way you do it without being destructive. So that if you're using an eraser, you're just a barbarian, okay, in Photoshop. So use some of the tools that you got. I use this rock formation. It's like a little gooey, flowy lava water transformation deal. I use that to convey, to kind of just flub these two together, just squish them together, flowing from her situation to his situation. I'm not by any means thinking that people are 50-50 male-female. But here we go. That's what this is all about. So that's how you can layer from top to bottom. Very simple flyer, very simple design. I don't think I even did very much adjusting as far as levels or anything. Here's the up close. You can see everything from the hair on their cheeks and the zits and the blemishes and everything. It's up close. Not the highest res photos in the world, but they work for a little 4x6 flyer. All right, so next. Now this is a text concept, so I bring it in as a 4x6 flyer. And I have this concept I want to do. So I wasn't sure. I had one line in my head that was kind of like, how long you've been waiting for things to change? Because both these people kind of look like they're waiting for something. Not like their welfare check or anything, but just kind of like they're waiting. figuring out something's going to happen in my situation. So here we go. So I'm just kind of making this up as I go along. I have to come up with a flyer, and I need it done quick. So I find some faces, I throw them on there, what are they saying? Then I go retro back, and I pick a scripture, and just how it works. So if I was witnessing someone, I would say this: how long have you been waiting for things to change? Because God can change your life. So as I went with this concept, and I just kind of picked the first font that looked halfway normal. I just go scrolling through a bunch of them. It's in the preview. I said, well, it's pretty skinny. It's going to be a wordy kind of a flyer, so I'm going to use a skinny kind of a font. And I'm just going to play around with the text here. You can see as my concept builds as I go. All right, so how long we wait for things to change? I put a box behind it. Maybe we'll do like a magazine thing with stuff in boxes. Nah, maybe not. I resize some text. Put the box at the bottom. Oh, the door looks pretty cool by itself. So here's another thing too. If you don't know what you're going to do yet, start somewhere, and then on your flyer it's going to be the church information. Start with the church information. That's going to happen. So just lay that out. The date and the time of the event, or your church services, or the play, or whatever's happening. So you just put that down there, because you're going to have to do that, and you know all that information already. And while your mind in the background is processing the other question, the other problem that needs to solve. So this is me doing that. So fast forward, blah, 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 blah. All right, so there's a concept. So I lay my text out, and I've got kind of a good concept here. You see over here on the right-hand side, I'm looking for the ñ in Spanish. That's an actual character you can get. You just put on insert character. You can go up here to I think Windows, and then Dockers, which these are Dockers. And you find text, and then go to insert character, and then you can find the ñes, the accents, all this other stuff. Crazy characters. You'll see the lines that you use sometimes to separate text. I can find a line in here on the side and use that instead of a comma or a parentheses or whatever. It's kind of stylish looking. Maybe we'll see that later. But that's my text concept. I come up with something and just get rolling. Got the little line there to separate the two. And so that was my initial layout. So like I said, it's a living document till you actually send it off. So here I decided I don't like that font because you can't read it, and it's kind of like Western looking and trippy. So I'm scrolling through, so maybe I want to make kind of a modern looking design too, since I got these two young people here on the cover. I picked this font called Orator STD. I don't know, it means standard, not sexually transmitted disease. Okay, you pervert. And so I'm resizing everything and using this cool new font. It's different. It's I already took this time to expand everything. Now I'm having to contract it all using the kerning tools. Some very cool tools in Corel Draw for adjusting the kerning on the fly without not like a number thing. You can do it like you're grabbing a handle with the mouse and moving it around. I just aligned everything to the left, and I'm going to crunch it up. I got some more real estate here. Now that I size on the font, look at this font. You can read everything. It's nice and clean. It's like one of those monospaced type fonts like Courier, but it's not as robotic or generic, techie looking. So I'm getting all this nice tight pile. And look over here, I can do the same thing on the other side. And as you'll see, I just resize everything. I can make this box smaller. And I got more real estate on top to do other stuff. Because, this is, like I said, a 3-point sermon before. You got to do some things. So I got the door. I got our name of our church. It's in white because it just contrasts real good over here. And over here it's black because it contrasts real good. Got the evangelist's name. I don't even think I even use a drop shadow after a while with these guys because the font, it's real easy. It's real clean. Bam. Look at that. Yeah, see? Changing everything. Hey, the concept works. It's just going to run with it. And you can put this up in that dude's hair. And even this just light area right here, you can still see the word things really good. And I think I just disabled all the drop shadows eventually and just went with straight up text. And so that much better layout, nice and clean. Everything's nice and compact yet readable. So these are just like video glitches right here. That the T and the D actually exist. If you zoom in, you'll see them. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, they're just video glitches. Looks like I left the drop shadows on the evangelist's name and the other titles, just make them punch out a little more. All right. Like I said, this is coming to me as I just picked a scripture. And I just went and searched. You can see here, and I'll pause this. In eSword, I just go back and I just searched the concept hope in Jesus, and it gave me these things, and I just read through a couple of them. That looks good. So bam, done, handled. I got my scripture now, and I use the contemporary English version. I usually don't like doing King James because people don't talk like that right now. They used to talk like that, and that was fine. But had them a flyer. It sounds kind of weird. Here's some an example of some kerning tools. Kerning is basically adjusting the distance between the characters. Now this is one whole line. This is one whole paragraph. It's not like 4 lines clumped together. So I can take this node right here and shrink it all up in unison, or I can select all these nodes like I did, like you saw earlier, and move them up as a group. I can select one thing here and move it around. So right here, the F and the I are together. And I don't know how that happened. You have 6 letters and 5 nodes. I tried to split them up. It didn't work. I said, forget it. Just keep on going. But see how this, the bracket is lower than the baseline. So the bracket is kind of straddling the center line, if you can imagine a center line here through this text. Instead of sharing the baseline as the rest of them, I upped it to like a size 11 font, where everything else is size 8, to let it stand out. Otherwise, it just looks like another letter or something. I'm into contrast and stuff standing out. There's something over here. Okay, it's just nodes. But anyway, so that's the other thing. So I centered it. I'm trying different formats to let it punch out and look good. I can do, I'll make that bigger, like 11. See what I can do to make this more. Man, I'm gonna put the whole name there. You know, sinners don't understand the abbreviations for the Bibles. So, and you're trying to get sinners and non-churchies to come to your revival, and so hey, that's why this says a week of special meetings with evangelists. Sometimes people don't know what that is. What's a revival? You know, people from the other Pentecostal church across town will know. They'll be all, oh, when are you going to come to my revival? But they're not the target here. So CEV. Anyway, so here I am sizing it up on this guy's forehead with black. So that's great. Thanks a lot, pal. Got a nice forehead. And here, again, I thought of something else. The change you're looking for could be right around the corner. It's not going to fit that in somewhere. Yeah, right there. Looks good. Wait, looks like I took off all the drop shadows eventually. Yeah, I know I did. So now after that's done, I convert it to a web banner. Our website, Ronnie wants it 1920 by 500. But this is just reformatting. How do you do that with this portrait photo, this portrait design? How do you get from there to this long landscape design? Well, I just always split up the landscape into 3 parts again, just like I do the portrait size. So I got this part, a center one, and on the right. So I'll have your main concept in the center, graphics or something on the left, and like the times and everything on the right. You'll see how I do this. I size this down, and I can trim this bitmap in the middle of the program without leaving it. So that's what I do. See, I use the node tool, make those nodes, and then shrink it up. Move it into place. I selected a color with the what's this called? The eyedropper tool. Select a color, and I use the paint bucket to fill that little box that I made there with that color. And put on a little fade to get rid of that little a transparency to get rid of that hard edge there. Down here, so yeah, there's no hard edge now. You can just see it kind of flows right into the color. So yeah, what am I doing now? Okay, I'm putting another box on top, and I'm going to use this to do a gradient fill from this color to a more prominent color I'm getting right here. So okay, this kind of like grayish purple deal. It's just using some tools, messing around here, trying some things. So I'm making a gradient fill from that to that. I'm adjusting the intensity sliders here so this color lasts longer before it starts fading. And editing this fill so that it gives me some contrast on the right. I'm taking I imported the original flyer into this design. I'm just going to take pieces of the text and rearrange them and resize them and do different things on there. So that, and I'm doing a rotation thing. So I don't know if this was explained or whatever on the other side, but this isn't flat. All these text pieces on here have some kind of rotation to them. They're just slightly off. If I can get right here, 5.595. That's the degree of rotation. So I click it until there's the target in the middle, and the nodes turn into these rotational adjustment nodes. So that's how that works. So okay? So everything's kind of tilted a little bit. It's not perfectly lined up, and I've got all this stuff here. Put the big line thing in the middle, give it some separation here. And there you go. Everything is there that's on the flyer. That's kind of redundant because if you're on the website, you can look all this stuff up. So I took the address off and the name of the church and all that stuff. That's whatever. But this is the actual special meeting. And of course, nurseries provided and services and all that stuff. So here's me exporting it, and I'm gonna take this stroke off this outer rectangle so it's actually right on, because that's one more pixel to add, and so that's not the exact dimension. So okay, I'm exporting it. I'm sending it to our website guy. Here's the results. So it looks like you open up our website, that banner will be there. It'll be cycling through different banners, and this one will pop up. And you can look in there, looking for little small things. Now it's not flyer print resolution. It's 72 like DPI or whatever it is for the web page. Web pages are lower resolution compared to the print version. This print version is going to be super high res, either 300 to 400 DPI. And so you can see the little small details. It's kind of weird. It's going to be on a little 4x6 flyer, but it's super high res. And like most flyers, people really don't look. They're not looking at stuff like that. But you, the guy who made the flyer, is going to have to live with this the rest of your life. So do a good job. All right. That's the Facetime flyer autopsy. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.